As we embark on this captivating journey through Spain's Islamic history, let's pause and challenge the prevailing narratives and unravel the fascinating tapestry of Spain's historical identity. In this series, we embark on an eye-opening exploration of Spain's history before the Muslims, aiming to dispel the pervasive myth that portrays the Muslim presence as that of mere invaders or occupiers. Let us ponder a thought-provoking question. What if the Muslim civilization, which flourished in Spain for over 7 centuries, deserves to be viewed as an intrinsic part of the nation's indigenous heritage in the same way as those peoples that came before them? Join us as we delve into the stories of the Iberians, Celts, Phoenicians and Carthaginians, Greeks, Romans, and finally the Visigoths, and the others that inhabited this land before the Muslims, ultimately reevaluating our perception of Spain's historical narrative and exposing the myth that portrays Muslims as a foreign entity to Spain's history. Think about what you were taught about Spain's history. Just how many people today are completely ignorant of the 8 centuries of Islam and Muslims in Spain? But why do so many teachers and schools just gloss over hundreds of years of the Muslim presence? Why do some academics add words like occupation or invasion when they talk about Muslims, but when they speak about the Visigoths and the Romans, they talk in a more neutral and softer language? Well, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to ring that notification bell as we continue to challenge these narratives and uncover the hidden truths of history. Get ready to challenge your perspective on Spain's past, right here on Through History. Spain, a land renowned for its beauty and enchanting heritage, is often thought of as always being a Christian country. When we speak about the Visigoths or the Romans, they are often depicted as the rightful inheritors of the land, while the Muslim presence is portrayed as just an intrusion. But what if this portrayal had obscured a more profound truth? And what about the 8 centuries of Muslim civilization in Al-Andalus that brought forth advancements in science, technology, language, and culture that contributed immensely to the tapestry of Spain's identity? The name Spain is derived from the Roman name of the region, Hispania, even though Spanish is derived mainly from spoken Latin or vulgar Latin. It has many influences of other languages of the people that historically inhabited the region and interacted with the people of that region, including the Arabic language. But have you ever wondered why it only amounts to roughly 8% of the Spanish lexicon? For just over 780 years, Arabic was the dominant language in the region. Before Spain was known as Spain, most of the land was known as Al-Andalus, a name that Ibn Khaldun stated is derived from Al-Andalus, or Andalusia, after the Gothic Vandals that inhabited the south. So why did the Spaniards skip over these 780 years of Arabic? You know, there was a time when even the non-Muslims of Spain had spoken Arabic. Alvaro of Cordova, a mid-9th century bishop, laments the state of his Christian brethren in Al-Andalus, saying,
"Where can anyone nowadays meet a layman who reads the Latin commentaries on the Holy Scriptures, who studies the Gospels, the Prophets, the Apostles? Alas, all young Christians of conspicuous talents are acquainted only with the language and writings of the Arabs. They read and study Arabic books with the utmost zeal, spend immense sums of money in collecting them for their libraries, and proclaim everywhere that this literature is admirable. On the other hand, if you talk with them of Christian books, they reply contemptuously that these books are not worth their notice. Alas, the Christians have forgotten their own language, and amongst thousands of us scarce one is to be found who can write a tolerable Latin letter to a friend. Whereas very many are capable of expressing themselves exquisitely in Arabic and of composing poems in that tongue with even greater skill than the Arabs themselves.
Spanish predominantly derives from spoken Latin, or Vulgar Latin, and it became dominant after the Christians of Castile, together with Aragon, reconquered Al-Andalus and turned it into Spain. The Romans brought spoken Latin into Spain, and the Visigoths, who spoke Latin in this period instead of a Germanic language, accelerated the adoption and the isolation of the language, forming a unique dialect of Latin. The most common dialect spoken today is Castellano, the type of Latin that was spoken by the Castilians of Spain. So are the Spanish people today just descendants of Romans and Visigoths? Were the Muslims simply Arab and Berber, or what they would call Moorish invaders, while the Romans and the Visigoths were indigenous to the population? And were the Muslims a foreign people who were eventually expelled by these Roman descendants, the rightful inhabitants of Spain? Well, no. The history is a lot more complicated than that. If you want a quick overview, just jump to the last video in this playlist. Otherwise, we hope you enjoy this series. Remember to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to get notifications whenever we post up new videos. And together, let's embark on new adventures through the corridors of history.